In this video, I'm going to teach you some skills that you should start developing if you are a self-taught bassist. Many bassists are self-taught, they have not been formally trained or studied, and they learn little by little, maybe often through trial and error. So I wanted to make this video for you to consider a series of skills you can start studying. Let's begin with the first one. Well, the first of these skills you should start mastering are inversions. You need to know how to lead a bass line with your instrument. But elsewhere, when we create bass lines, we accompany harmonic progressions, chord progressions. We always have a path where we're looking for the roots of these chords. Well, when we know how to invert, we can find another path through that harmonic progression. And many times it is necessary because besides surprising, we add variety to the harmonic progression. And of course, as bassist, we lead the bass line in one direction or another. Let me give you an example. We have a harmonic progression with these chords, and this progression is in the key of A major. It starts with the 4th degree, which would be D, then it moves to the 1st degree, which would be A, then it moves to the 2nd, which would be B minor, and finally we have the 5th degree, E. If we play the bass line, we would play it like this, accompanying with the root notes of the chords. Let's take a look. Tonic, but I also have another way to accompany. How about if I lead? If I connect 3 chords by step, if I start in D, and instead of going to A, I go to its first inversion, which would be A over C sharp. Then I move like this, and I've created a completely descending line. What used to jump from DAB now goes DCAB. It's descending through part of the scale. I'm leading the bass line, I'm doing an inversion, I'm arranging as a bassist. Bassists are arrangers. We arrange too, so this is very important. However, you have to be careful because, of course, the moment I enter the inversion, I can no longer accompany it with the same arpeggio of the chord I am inverting, but I also have to do the inverted arpeggio. The inverted arpeggio. Let's see how this transition sounds. I'm going to start inverting. See how I lead towards B. Now I break it with E, but D, first inversion that travels to that B. I am creating a completely descending bass line instead of going up. Well, as you can see, the sound has nothing to do with it, and the bass is leading the line in this case downwards. Then it cuts to reach E. But that could already make a continuous line depending on the harmonic progression and the options it can offer me. One thing is clear, you have to master inversions no matter what, sooner or later, if you dedicate yourself to playing the bass. You're going to have to do them professionally. You'll come across songs with an inversion and often will be clueless about what to do. And that happens to my students. If you want to master this, if you want to master inversions in my academy, there is a course. In the complete annual training on inversions, we're going to see the next skill. Another discipline you must master if you're a self-taught bassist is playing different styles. That means not always focusing on the same style. A self-taught bassist aiming for the professional bass world to perform and make a living playing bass shouldn't only play the style you like rock or blues, but also learn others. To make a living with the bass, you're not just going to play the style you like rock or blues, you also need to learn others. For example, Latin music, because at some point you'll have to play the Latin bass. It's very important that we learn styles and stay open because it will enrich us to play the style we like the most. This time, I offer you an example featuring a tumbado bass. The tumbado bass can be quite intimidating at first because it's continuously syncopating. As we often say, it's always in the air rather than on the beats. We usually say it's all up in the air instead of grounded. So now let's look at a tumbao bass line that I'm going to play right now so you can see how the line stays in the air. As you can see, the bass goes in constant syncopation. It's a very fun style. Not everyone likes it, but if you master it, you can introduce it into other styles you enjoy. For instance, now I'm going to give you an example. I am going to play a funk bass line using the rhythmic cell from the tambado I played earlier. Let's see how this sounds applied. As you can see, learning styles is another skill I recommend you start developing. You already know there's a style course in my training, so I'll leave it at that. Enough said, let's move on to the next skill. As a self-taught bassist, you've likely been taught a scale or learned one, the pentatonic scale. You should not stick to just the pentatonic scale as it is, because I can learn it in 3 ways. For example, in the case of a major, even moving forward, no? But you should start connecting it and stepping out of your comfort zone with the pentatonic scale. Let's look at an example of how we can do this. Okay, let's review the pentatonic scales. I'm in A, that would be the first position. Second position, third position. Fourth. Fifth, which is the minor pentatonic. And then it returns to the tonic again. Well, this is great, but they are still scales that I am using vertically. Now the concept is the following. Let's travel from this fingering to the first octave that I encounter, which would be there. There I am, and now I'm going to move on to the next one. Here I am. I'm connecting them now. I'm traveling from this note A to this note A. As you can see, I covered the whole vertical space I explained at the beginning with the pentatonic modes. This is a way to chain the scale. As you can see, this ability to move from one area to the highest range of our instrument by connecting the scale is really important when we're doing a solo. The vertical approach is great for learning a scale, but then you need to maintain a certain horizontality on the instrument. And that is what will open your mind, because I find many students who say they do not like it. I'm always in the same place. I'm like, I have to do the solo and I'm here. Of course, because we have to leave home. Yeah, and travel to the store next door and come back home again. This is done by connecting scales horizontally. So I fully recommend you start working on this skill. If you do not know how, you can do it in my academy. The last skill is to learn more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9...